Beautiful one. This is how you can use your intuition to grow your business the feminine way. In my last 10 years online, I have found all my breakthroughs when I was connecting to myself, when I was asking myself deeper questions. And I think many of us are conditioned to scroll, to look outside of ourselves, to hire people or look for strategies, do courses, scroll, compare ourselves. And in a way, we're constantly reinforcing our own inadequacy, our own being behind, our own sense of something is lacking, something is missing. There must be another hack, another way, another strategy. And I think that when we are so constantly overwhelmed by information and input, we forget that our intuition has all the answers we are seeking for our business growth. And whether it's building an offer or mapping out your content creation path, noticing if it's time to raise your prices, noticing if what you're offering as a container is the right container for you, changing your style, changing your way, hiring teams. Most of the decisions you truly have to make daily are needing you to go in nature, be in silence, and ask yourself, what am I meant to do here? And I wanted to share with you three of my favorite ways to connect to my intuition to make some of those decisions and never lose sight of my own North Star. When we're creating a business and a lifestyle from freedom, we're walking our own path. We're creating a new way. And by doing things differently, we allow ourselves to also give everyone permission to experience things differently. And one of the main reasons that I chose to align people with the feminine way was because I believe business needs logic, needs structure, needs strategy. But when we pair it and layer it with intuition, inner knowing, wisdom, the body, our own natural energy feeling we have in places with certain people, our inner guidance system, our signals, that's when our business becomes not only truly powerful, but truly meaningful and fulfilling. So, I wanted to share with you those three things. And the first one is the open loop question. And what this really is noticing one big key question in the business right now. And it might be, should I go, keynote at this event or should I stay? Should I launch right now or should I wait? Whatever big question feels right now that it's kind of haunting you, it's in the back of your mind, it's coming up at night, it's coming up in the morning. First, we want to identify what that question really is, right? Because sometimes it appears to be a question that is related to hire, launch something, but there's a deeper question. So we need to first uncover like what is the true question here that I'm asking myself? And that takes a bit of journaling to just refine, okay, what is my key question? Write it down in a couple ways, notice what's true, and then not try to answer it. Because when we're often in reactivity, when we're often in, let me get to it quicker, let me get, to the next thing on my list, sometimes we're answering too quick. Sometimes we're just too quick to come up with an answer, to decide something. And some questions are not meant to be answered. They're meant to be asked, and then us being receptive, an answer is meant to be received. And that's why I love those open loop questions so much, because sometimes I will be sitting at night and I'll be having this huge conundrum or this huge, existential crisis about something. And I'm like, oh, what should I do? What should I do about this? And because I know how this intuitive path works, I'm telling myself I don't have to know. I don't need to respond. I don't need to have an answer to this. I can sit in the messiness of the in between. I can sit in the discomfort of not knowing yet what this is going to be. I don't have to know. This is one of the most powerful things you can tell yourself whenever something arises or feels overwhelming. I don't have to know. I don't need to know. You write your question, you tell yourself I don't have to know. And then you welcome patience and you welcome presence to receive when the time is right. And oftentimes, I will literally wake up the next morning with that clarity, that instant, whoa, This is what I need to do here. And sometimes it will take a few days. And that's why this open loop questions is such a powerful process, because we're not forcing clarity. We're creating the conditions for clarity to arise. And that means really noticing as well the shift in energy. You know, when you're in a quest, sometimes it feels a bit dense. There's a sense of heaviness, a sense of stickiness, being in between heavy fog. And then when we move into the next stage, little location change. When we think about how it feels when we're not anymore in that heaviness, in that quest, we can feel lightness. There's something that lifted in the energy. We can sense that we're out of the fog, we're out of the cloudiness, we're out of the heaviness. And it almost comes as a clear answer, a clear quote unquote download, or for me, it comes in images. And then you see it. You see what it is you're meant to create, or what is the path forward. There's a clear fork in the road, right? Every decision is a cut. It goes this way or that way. There is a no to something and a yes to something. And I think the biggest mistake we can make in running our freedom business is to force clarity, to force ourselves to move past the heavy by just forcefully deciding. And that impatience is sometimes so unjustified. Because if we only gave it a couple of days, it sometimes takes a minute, an hour, but if we only gave it the time that it needs to take to get the answer, we would feel so less resistance in our day-to-day. And that's why I love this open loop so much, because it not only taught me patience, but it allowed me to get really familiar with my own intuition and my own navigation system of recognition, what is aligned and what is not ready yet. Because there's either alignment or there is something that simmers. And when something is simmering, we don't have to force it to be ready. We don't have to force it through. I will add a caveat here, which is sometimes on the way to our answer, there will be clues that are not the full answer. So if you're looking to get that clarity on your business question, and then you wake up and you have an inkling to go to that coffee shop, or to go and take that road, or to text that person, or to reach out to this, sometimes little clues will arise and really lean in, because the big answer might need a minute, or might need context to change, or movement to happen, action to happen, to be fully revealed. So that's one of my favorite practice. And I do this basically every single time I feel resistance or unclarity in a way that feels heavier. I choose that path, because I know when the clarity comes, I will feel that lift and that clearing in the energy. My second practice that I so deeply adore is doing something else completely. And you know when they say, when just close the computer and go take a walk or go touch some grass, it's the best. It is literally the best way to get some clarity, because when we are not actively forcing or actively doing, and when we step back into being, the clutter clears. We're clearing our house, we're cleaning, but the clutter in our mind also clears. And that spaciousness that's created, that ease in the body that's created, that moving away from the contracted state that's created, the softening, allows for little things to bubble up. And that's why willingness to move through difficult tasks is one thing. But most of the time, when we're noticing that we're currently in override of our own capacity. So let's say you started building a funnel or a sales page, and you're literally boiling right now. You're about to throw the laptop down the window. You're currently in a forceful state. Things are not working, maybe keeps crashing. Something is just not working. In those moments, I believe fully stepping away and moving the physical reality is the best way to get that clarity, to move away from that energy or emotion that is actually not conducive to the work, and to reconnect to the work once it's from play, from joy, from excitement, or from dedication or persistence, a commitment, but it's a positive driving force. It's not anymore in that slightly toxic, forceful force. And my favorite way to do this is to really just clear the energies and move the energies in the house, like air, open the windows, clean, go do a physical activity, a workout, but also tidy a corner of your house, like tidy, fold clothes, give some clothes away, organize the cupboard in the kitchen you've been neglecting for 10 years. Like just do something that's creating orderliness in the physical space. And watch as your mind also gets clear. It is almost instantaneous. But there is a big part of this that's like surrendering and also unhooking from this illusion of productivity. Because when we are constantly believing that certain activities are productive and certain activities are either chores or leisure or rest or laziness or whatever you call them, we create segmentation and we're not honoring the way everything is connected. The way I see business is a 360 ecosystem that's in relation to your life, your joy, your success, yourself, your energy. I cannot see just one part. I always see the full picture. Everything is connected. You move one piece, something else moves. You touch the water, it ripples somewhere else. And so when we're constantly in this productivity story of I need to be in the office location between this time and this time bound, doing certain activities such as emails, content, editing, calling clients, creating something, like just certain activities are bound to your sense of productivity or what we call work, you're missing out on a huge other reality where you're getting a worth $1,000 breakthrough whilst cutting a watermelon and sitting on your balcony. Because it is so much more interconnected than we believe. And what is productive, what is output, what is worth for your company if it isn't you being the visionary that sees the full picture and is able to mind map things even when you're not actively doing certain things. And that's why unhooking from this illusion of productivity and this illusion of certain tasks need to be done a certain way and actually flipping it around. You have to create an email sequence. Why don't you just go to the beach, bring your journal and drink coffee and write it there? Why would you be on your computer, right? Why don't you go on a walk and speak it out loud? Why don't you go take a nap and wake up and maybe have a vision for it? Step away. And my third favorite activity to connect to my intuition and to honor my creative force is to allow myself to rest and not be consuming often. And this I like to call almost like pockets of rest or pockets of emptiness. And it really is in the in-between of moving the physical body or the physical world or moving the business, moving the tangible of your work, carving pockets of time where there's literally no other purpose than to stare at the ceiling, stare at the window, look at the view, and actively not being in a process of solving, thinking about the business, ideating, visioning. I'm not talking about vision casting. I'm talking about just letting your body be, just be. Breathe, look at the view, and teach your body and your nervous system that this moment is all there is. There is no need to create. There is no need to plan. There is no need to be ahead. You can really just be in this moment of presence. It's safe for you to rest. It's safe for you to land. It's safe for you to be here. It is safe for you to just exist. You don't have to constantly be moving the body, the business, the vision. You can just be, land here, observe the life you've already built, bring in gratitude, bring in fulfillment, bring in contentment, bring in acceptance. Things are as they are, and that's okay. And sometimes that means, letting the dishes be unmade and actively sitting and not feeling the itch to go finish them. Sometimes it means taking a morning where you carve out a 15-minute, 20-minute to take a nap because you're tired that day and you want to actively go lay and just slay. Actively taking pockets of time that are dedicated to calming your nervous system, teaching yourself it's safe to rest, unhooking from this schedule, unhooking from the drive to create, to continue, to be worthy because you keep doing more, and just train yourself to be content and fulfilled when there's nothing going on, when nothing is actively in your control or being shaped. And that's something I actively started doing more recently, I would say 2 years ago. I think I was doing it before more unconsciously, but I really brought it in as part of my day to day life and as part of my routine and rituals to when I feel tired, I take a nap. When I feel like I'm a little crashing out because I've either been too much online or I have been too much in my head thinking, mapping out things, I'm just gonna lay on the sofa, look up, and just wait until I have this little impulse to move again and to do a new activity that from lightness. Just sitting and reading a book without my phone, cooking without music, and just being present with the act of cooking. And these are sounding so simple, but we don't often do things undistracted. We don't often do things unaccompanied by noise, whether it's your partner talking to you or a podcast or music. There's always something going on. And I think there's something incredibly powerful about protecting those pockets of time where you're just existing. I'm just ironing my clothes right now. I'm just folding clothes. I'm just hanging clothes outside. I'm just sitting here. I'm just drinking coffee. I'm not consuming anything. I'm not thinking about anything. Yeah, I think the practice of just being is a lost art. And we gotta bring it back. We gotta bring it back because it's one of the most healing thing for the body. It's one of the most grounding thing for the nervous system. It's one of the most profound experience of presence that also takes us away from this sense of being always on a race towards something, right? Why don't you lend a little? You've built this life. You're already here. Why don't you lend a little? Anyways, there's a million more little things that I do to connect with myself and my intuition. But I think these are my 3 key things that I really come back to almost daily. And I'm really curious to hear how they serve you in your business and how they maybe shift your perspective around productivity, self-worth, and what it means to be the visionary of your business and be the one that can exist outside of this time-bound routine or set of tasks and really just explore what creativity and flow means for you. And yeah, I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you for being on this journey with me. We are on day 10 of 151 days of YouTube. Please let me know if you have any topic requests in the comment below. Let me know how you enjoy those daily videos. Send me a message on Instagram. And of course, if you want my mind on all of the chaos and questions and things currently happening in your business to bring in more peace of mind, more ease, and just increase your revenue and your visibility without force, you know where to find me. Feel free to book yourself in for my 15 minutes. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful one.